I want to tell every child of God about hell. Many people are warned about hell, but they ask us, have you been there yourself? When we talk about Jesus, they ask us if we have seen him. Unbelievers like to ask us such questions. That is why I am gonna share with you the revelation Jesus Christ gave me, so that people will make a choice by themselves whether they believe or not. I saw these things with my own eyes and heard with my own ears of the Spirit. When people die, they will be asked if they heard the gospel or not. They will be asked about what they heard in details. I am warning South African and people who are listening to my report, and when people from South Africa who heard my report will die, they will be interrogated and asked if they heard my testimony or not. The judges of the afterlife will ask them, have you not heard the gospel and warning from Brother Enigma, from your family and relative? Have you not heard the gospel and warning from the media? Is it not a fact that you heard the good news of the gospel from many people? Your pastor warned you, even your family warned you, and you were warned by many people. These are words people will be told on the day of judgment, but people don't believe that there is hell. I want to tell you, child of God, if you are born again and saved, you must live a holy life. Don't play around with your salvation. Jesus told me, you will tell pastors when they preach they should tell believers that only those who are saved that are going to heaven. They must not lie to people that because those who are saved that eligible to enter heaven, there must be written in the book of life. Many people believe that when they die they will go to heaven. Even those who are not saved make the such claim, but it does not work like that. Even if your parent go to church, you must understand that salvation is an individual matter. Everybody must save themselves because you have your own soul, and you will stand before God on the day of judgment. But when you die in your sin, 2 demons will come to get your soul. Sometime it's not a demon but the Spirit of the Lord that take you, not to bring you to paradise but before outside the gate of heaven, where there is also the abyss. Very often the Spirit of God also takes souls that die with their sins and put them in a broad way. The highway is so big that it can accommodate 4 lanes on both sides. I am not sure if the ground is paved or a tar road, but I saw that it was wide road. I saw a multitude of people walking that broad way, people who had died in their sins. Even those who living in sin are walking on the broad way, and through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. Matthew 7 verse 13. When I look at the side of this broad way, there were just bushes and trees, no houses there. People join this road when they die with their sin. Any man in the 4 corner of the world that has died with his sin was landing on this broad way, and whoever practices sins is walking the broad way that lead to destruction. I saw that everybody on this broad way was naked. No one wore a shirt, pant, skirt or shoes on this wide way, for they were all naked, walking with no shame to their destination. There were even children that were 4 to 6, teenagers and older people who have died in their sins were walking in this broad way. Nobody was looking at the person on his left and right to see if they are fat, skinny or what. When you look at the faces of these people, there was fear in their eyes. They knew that they were deads. Their conscience was telling them about their sins, and everybody was wondering where they were going, but no one was asking the person next to him, where are we going? But fear was in their eyes. These people did not care that they were naked, but as they walked their conscience was judging them and telling them about their condemnation. These people walked silently, not talking and not looking at each other, as if controlled by a force. Jesus said, they will walk like this for 2 to 3 hours. As the multitude were moving in the broad way, we arrive at a place where I saw that there was a bridge, on what seems like a mountain. That mountain had a hole like a tunnel. This broad way passed through that tunnel and the multitude were passing in that tunnel under the mountain. When the people entered the tunnel, I saw that it was really dark, but there was no one among the multitude that tried to stop or turn back. The power that controlled them would not allow them to stop, so they continued to walk even if the darkness tunnel, for they were compelled to move forwards. When they appeared inside the tunnel, they were greeted by darkness, but they could not walk back. They left the light behind them. That's when they began to feel a heated temperature, but they could not turn back even if they wanted. Their feet were moving forward against their will, and they were surprised to see that their feet kept walking forward despite the heat. The hotter it got, they wanted to turn back, but their feet kept dragging them forward. No one was able to turn back because they lived their life on the wide road. Their spiritual body obeyed the power that dragged them forward in spite of their will to stop. That's when people began to weep and scream in fear as they progress in this wide road where the temperature became unbearable, a place extremely dark. I saw that there were road signs on the left and right. When the multitude saw the on the road signs, the writing that said hell, they were now sure that they were going to hell. The multitude cried and wept louder, for the heat got stronger. They were not yet in hell, but they could feel unbearable heat burning them. They only saw darkness, for they could not see the fire, but they were burning. Everybody was weeping and crying in desperation, until they began to hear the screams of billions of people weeping from far. Imagine a universe where billions of souls from different generations screaming in great agony. Hell has more people than heaven and earth, but there are still places for newcomers. There is spaces available for everyone. As the dead continued to move, they began to see a red light afar. That when they saw a huge hole the size of a stadium, and before the abyss there were demons standing around and welcoming people that were coming with mockeries. These demons were like soldiers standing like guards supervising everything. These demons look like vampires. They look like human, but they are taller and stronger, and they were barefooted. They had long nails on their hands and foot, and they had big body part, for their heads were big. They kept laughing as people were coming and falling to the great pit of fire. These people were crying and lamenting, but these demons were laughing and mocking them. They said, "You have enjoyed food on earth, but there is no food where you have come. Forget about food and eating. We don't have food here, and since God did not give us food, therefore we will eat your flesh, which is our food." And they were laughing at the believers who came to this place. When people get to hell, they were in shock of what they were seeing. They see demon face to face, but they cannot turn back. When people reach that abyss, they began to fall in the abyss as if they were jumping deliberately in the abyss by their own will. They thought they will just burn and die, not knowing what was awaiting for them. Little did they know that in hell no one will die, and they will keep burning and be tormented. People fell in this abyss, and when they reached the floor, it was a massive land, for hell is a big place. It is a world bigger than the earth. There is no house in hell. It's like people who work in the mine under the earth. When they reach the end of a corridor, another tunnel opened before them, leading to another underground tunnel. That's how hell is. There was all kind of fire. Because fire there is not the same like on earth. There were people that were burning in volcano, other were burnt in oven, other are bitten by snakes, other are eaten by rat and worms. There were many sorts of torment. Even dogs were in hell. But not dogs of earth, but dogs of hell. The snakes and rat are not like the ones on earth. They were from hell. In hell the rat are of abnormal size, very huge, like a bit pot. These big rats were eating the bodies of people until they are left bones, and you can see the soul of the person a skeleton, for in the fire people a skeleton. Then the skin and flesh will start forming a new body that will be born again. I saw women that wear hair attachment on earth. When they arrived in hell, that hair attachment could be seen even on their spiritual body. What you die with follow you in the afterlife. You become the reflection of your sin. If you like painting your face, that's how you will look like in the afterlife. Women who had attachment when they arrived, they were dragged on their attachment. I saw souls manhandled, bullied and assaulted and thrown around. Demon pinched them, scratched them and tore their skin. They plucked their eyes and eyelashes. They were crying. Demons were laughing and saying, "You have enjoyed life on earth, but this is hell." Beloved, as we live life on earth, demons know us and know our names. This means that whatever kind of life we are living, they are watching us. If by negligence you fall in their kingdom, they will call you by your name because they know you. They told these souls, "Come here." Your pastors warned you, but you would not listen. Why did you not listen? The people cried and said, "I did not know." They were thrown around and stepped on with the big feet of demon. They stabbed them, for they had big metal weapon that they use that to torment people. It was not earthly tools, it was demonic instrument. They were stabbing and breaking people bones, and when you think you're gonna die, you realize that you are not dying. I saw that when people fell in the fire, there were also demons inside the fire that were waiting for them to torment them. Demons were many. They are tireless in their duty. I was shocked to notice that demons were more numerous than human. I used to think that we were more than demon, but it was a shock to see how numerous they were. I heard Jesus telling me that demons are more than a trillions in number. Demons were too many. They eat people flesh as they are burning in hell. The person is standing and watching while demon is consuming his flesh. This is the kind evil and dreadful environment we are talking about. They chopped your head off with machete and your head cries while it's on the ground. Your head is away from your body but it is crying. They kick your head away from your headless body. These are things I saw in hell. They beat you, eat you and manhandled you. When your skin and flesh fell from the body, what happened is that your body will reconstitute again in order to be consumed by fire, and the cycle is continual without stop. You will burn forever. Hell is cruel. Believers, if you don't walk in God-fear, demon will break your arms and pull them out while you are watching, and they will chop your members and play with them, showing them to you and throwing them. You will cry bitterly while you are burning. The whole process is a continual cycle that goes on and on. These are many things that are happening in hell, and there are even children in that place. There are old people and teenagers burning and crying. People of all races and language are there. No one is talking or chatting, for all they do is screaming and crying. They can't ask each other names, where they come from and why they are here. They just cry because the fire is too hot. It's not like the fire we have here on earth. It is a terrifying fire. Whoever made this fire must be extremely furious and enraged because this fire was alive and fierce. What surprised me was that demons were not burning. It's like how we live on earth and the sun is not burning us. It's their environment and they used to it. Jesus said they will burn after the rapture. I saw a woman that was burning with 2 children. I could not tell if they are male or female because their skins burn. The children asked their mother, "Why did you not take us to church?" and they accused their mother to be responsible for this punishment. They were all crying, seeking for help.